I was invited to play a song at the funeral of my good friend's mother. But the challenging part for me was that the invitation was from her. While she still talked and hugged her children and her children's children, and still walked alongside her love of over 40 years, her husband. Her funeral was filled with memories and tears, but it was her daughter that said something that resonated deep between my ears, and I thought about it days after the funeral had passed. She'd said, "Mom, you were there for my first breath, and I was there for your last." Breath. It's the most addictive, intoxicating thing on the planet, but it's not like we take every in and out and plan it. It just happens. Until one day, vanished. We can live without food for a couple of weeks, without water for a couple of days, but breath, minutes at best. At least that's what the internet says. But what if breath is more than inhales? Are we being naive when we ignore the details? He took my breath away. I was drowning in love. Her breath got faster. You hearing this stuff? When a newborn arrives, there's a pause around the earth as we anticipate the first of their firsts. And when they take that first breath, you know what we do? We let go of the breath we were holding on to. Relief. And when our children get older, they're bound to get hurt. The playground's the place where they fall in the dirt or trip and take skin off those innocent knees. And when they're crying so hard, we scoop them up and say, breathe. A nice deep breath. The tears start to fade. A nice deep breath, the pain goes away. But even as grown-ups, we load our lives full of stress and frustration. We use up our patience, then beg for vacations as if the sun was our remediation. But generation by generation, we're drawn to the occasion where the air's penetration reminds us to pause all that stress and replace it with breath. Our physical heart takes the air from our lungs. It's called oxygen-rich and it flows through our blood. So biologically, breath works to keep us alive, but there's not much point in living if our soul doesn't thrive. And maybe there's chaos around every turn, and the idea of simply just watching it burn sounds better than asking what you're supposed to learn. But oddly enough, what I know about fire is it needs the same thing you and I both require. And if it wasn't so important, not just to keep us alive, keep us grounded, keep us present, and help heal our mind, then why is the first thing we take and the last thing we leave behind breath?